up, guys? Michaela, Vernava, Zack on the Patriots practice fields where day one of mandatory minicamp just wrapped up. We saw Tom Brady back out here. We also saw surprise standout, sort of, bit of a surprise, Braxton Berrios, who made a huge play out here. 6th-round pick last year. We didn't get to see him in action. He spent the year on IR, but with the way this receiving core is right now, how much of a role can he really carve out for himself this season?
Well, he definitely has an opportunity. I certainly wouldn't view him as anywhere close to a roster lock at this point, just given that last season, as you mentioned, spent the entire season on IR, and even before that, really didn't flash in spring practice or training camp last season. But as you mentioned, he was probably the most impressive player on the field today. He made a pretty impressive diving catch from Brian Hoyer for a touchdown, kind of spiked the ball afterwards. He was clearly fired up about that, and he also made 6 or 7 other more pedestrian catches around the field. But really, this tight end group, or not this tight end group, this wide receiver group rather, is wide open. It basically you have Julian Edelman, who's kind of locked into his spot, and then you have N'Keal Harry, who's going to make the team, obviously as a first-round pick, but you don't really know what his role is going to be. Outside of that, it's really up for grabs, and Braxton Berrios has a long way to go, but these are the kind of performances he has to string together if he wants to earn one of those roster spots.
So what have you been seeing from N'Keal Harry so far? Because I would say the expectations for him are high coming into this season, at least some think so.
Absolutely. I mean, as a first-round pick, the first time Bill Belichick has used a first-round pick on a wide receiver since he joined the Patriots. N'Keal Harry was the big standout of the only OTAs practice we were able to watch a couple weeks back. Wouldn't really call him that today. He was fine. He was okay. He was covered by Stephon Gilmore for most of the day, which is going to be very difficult for any wide receiver to kind of impress when you're under those circumstances. But I just thought that it was good and kind of encouraging just to see how much he's working with Tom Brady, both with that first-team offense, and we saw during a punt return period that Tom Brady kind of pulled him and Ben Watson and James White aside, and they were working kind of on their own over to the side. And obviously N'Keal Harry had that kind of much publicized throwing session with Tom Brady and Julian Edelman a couple weekends ago. So they're definitely really kind of doing everything they can to get this youngster up to speed. And overall, I think expectations should be high, just given his talent and given what we've seen so far.
Well, the Patriots won't, however, operate with just 2 wideouts. So who else has impressed you so far? It is early, but just so far, what have you seen?
Today, one of the other standouts was Maurice Harris, who's a taller slot receiver. He's around 6'2", 6'3". Had a couple of good seasons with the Washington Redskins. Hasn't really kind of emerged as a sort of top flight wide receiver, but he made some plays out there today. I kind of liked what I saw from Ryan Davis, the undrafted free agent. He's another slot receiver, more kind of traditional slot receiver size. I like his quickness. I like the way he moves out there. And there's just going to be a lot of competition in this wide receiver group. I mean, you've got guys like Philip Dorsett who have been there before, guys like Dontrell Inman who have had have put up stats for other teams in the past. So there's a lot of players. I think this is going to be probably the most exciting position battle to watch as we go into training camp.
It's definitely an interesting spring, a unique one that we really haven't experienced before in a lot of ways. So there's a lot to keep up with, so make sure to stay with us right here on NESN.com.